If your child receives developmental support, you know exactly how quickly a calendar fills up. Between applied behavior analysis, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and speech therapy, managing a family schedule can feel like running a complex logistics operation. These professional services are incredibly valuable, but they share a primary geographic flaw. They almost always happen in separate locations, isolated clinics or specialized centers that are entirely disconnected from the family's home. This setup turns parents and caregivers into chauffeurs and waiting room observers. Instead of actively participating in the learning process alongside their child, families often sit on the sidelines while the professionals work. As a result, therapy becomes another rigid item on the week's itinerary. It exists outside the family's natural lived routines, and that creates a major translation problem. The skills a student practices during a highly structured, scheduled session in a quiet clinic often fail to carry over when they are suddenly back in the unpredictable, messy reality of their own living room. Treating these developmental milestones strictly as isolated, calendar-based tasks leaves families logistically exhausted without actually giving the student the tools they need to navigate the places where daily life actually happens. The Summer Life Skills and Family Support Project bridges that gap, moving the focus away from the clinic and directly into the natural home environment. The core thesis of the program is simple. The real-life skills we rely on do not fit neatly into one single professional category. Take a totally ordinary household routine, like walking into the kitchen and preparing an afternoon snack. This diagram deconstructs a snack routine. Asking for food relies on communication, speech therapy. Opening the pantry and grasping items requires physical coordination, occupational and physical therapy. Staying focused and motivated demands behavioral strategies, applied behavior analysis. A single natural action demands that all of these clinical systems fire at the exact same time. To truly build independence, those separate siloed disciplines must be woven together into one cohesive, practical plan. That integration is the primary mechanism of the program. Families, students, and volunteers are trained to take these varied therapeutic methods and combine them into a single routine-based approach. They look at a large, intimidating goal and break it down into tiny, manageable practice steps, using simple visual supports and clear prompts to guide the student forward. This completely reverses the traditional dynamic for caregivers. Parents shift from passive bystanders into active, empowered teachers inside their own homes. To be completely clear, this program is a family-centered supplement. It does not replace traditional professional therapy services. It builds upon them. By embedding these techniques into daily domestic life, therapy ceases to be an isolated appointment. It transforms into a continuous, natural practice, running quietly in the background where life actually happens. Zooming out from the immediate mechanics of making a snack or getting dressed, there is a much larger developmental journey taking place as an individual grows up. The traditional clinical model leans heavily toward flawless execution of goals chosen entirely by adults. Here, the priority shifts away from perfection and directly toward meaningful participation and gradual independence. We achieve that by handing the decision-making power over to the student. The program prioritizes understanding what the individual actually prefers and what they personally want to work toward. As this structure shows, student choice serves as the foundational bedrock to drive problem-solving and self-advocacy. Leaning into the student's desires generates the motivation required to tackle those complex, multidisciplinary tasks. Because the student is driving the direction, success is measured differently. Progress is about celebrating small, continuous moments of agency in daily life, rather than running a flawless clinical drill. Embedding multidisciplinary skills into everyday routines gives the individual a chance to practice living. By giving them the steering wheel, we help build the foundation for a confident, enriched, and truly independent life.